Our planet, a tapestry woven with threads of both extraordinary wealth and heartbreaking poverty. Towering skyscrapers pierce the heavens while in distant lands makeshift shelters cling to dusty earth. This is the stark reality of our time, a world of extremes. We live in an age where technological marvels have shrunk distances and connected lives like never before, yet millions remain tethered to a life devoid of basic necessities. While some enjoy a life of abundance, others fight for survival, their existence marked by scarcity and despair. The contrast is jarring, the disparity unsettling. In the heart of our modern world, a life of unparalleled comfort and opportunity flourishes. Here, technology has redefined the boundaries of possibility, pushing the limits of human ingenuity. High-speed trains whisk people across continents, connecting them in a web of commerce and culture. Medical advancements offer hope and healing, extending lifespans and improving the quality of life. Education, the cornerstone of progress, is readily available, nurturing young minds and shaping future leaders. The pursuit of knowledge knows no bounds. Fueled by a spirit of innovation and a thirst for discovery, opportunities abound, beckoning individuals to chase their dreams and contribute to the ever-evolving tapestry of human achievement. But this abundance, this privilege, exists in stark contrast to the realities faced by millions across the globe. Venture beyond the glittering facades of affluence and you'll encounter a different reality. Here, in forgotten corners of the world, scarcity casts a long and unforgiving shadow. The basic necessities that many take for granted, food, water, shelter, are a constant source of anxiety. For millions, the day begins and ends with the struggle to survive. The search for clean water becomes a daily pilgrimage, often leading to contaminated sources and the threat of disease. Education, the key to breaking the cycle of poverty, remains a distant dream for many children. Their days are spent not in classrooms but in fields, laboring alongside their families to secure the next meager meal. Opportunity is a luxury they cannot afford. The sun rises over a parched landscape, casting long shadows over a small village stirring to life. But for the children here, the promise of a new day doesn't always bring hope. For many, the thirst for knowledge is quenched not in classrooms, but in the harsh realities of their daily struggle. In this village, school is a luxury many cannot afford. The nearest schoolhouse is miles away, a journey fraught with danger and often made on empty stomachs. Some children walk for hours, their small bodies weary, their determination fueled by a yearning for a better life. But for many, the pull of responsibility is too strong. In the heart of affluence, a refrigerator hums, stocked with an abundance of food. But in forgotten corners of the world, a different sound echoes. The grumbling stomach of a child, a constant reminder of the daily battle against hunger. For millions, finding enough to eat is an all-consuming struggle. Meals are meager, often consisting of little more than watery porridge or a handful of grains. Malnutrition casts a dark shadow over their lives. Children, their bodies deprived of essential nutrients, are left vulnerable to disease and stunted growth. In a world of abundant waterways and sparkling swimming pools, the idea of water scarcity seems unimaginable. But for millions, access to clean water is a daily struggle, a matter of survival. Every drop becomes precious, a resource to be carefully rationed and shared. Women and children bear the brunt of this burden, often walking for miles each day to fetch water from distant wells or rivers. The water they collect is often contaminated, carrying with it the threat of disease. Cholera, typhoid, and other waterborne illnesses become constant threats. claiming the lives of the most vulnerable, the young and the elderly. Imagine a world where your birthplace determines your destiny. This is the reality for millions of children across the globe. While some are showered with opportunities, others are born into a life of struggle, their futures limited by factors beyond their control. In one world, children wake up in comfortable beds, their rooms filled with books and toys that spark their imaginations. They attend well-equipped schools, their minds nurtured by dedicated teachers. Their days are filled with laughter, learning, and the promise of a bright future. But in another world, children wake up to the sound of their empty stomachs grumbling. From the dust and despair of forgotten villages, we journey to a world of unimaginable opulence. Here, in glittering cities and secluded enclaves, extravagance knows no bounds. Mansions rise like monuments to excess, their marble facades gleaming under the sun. Within these palaces of excess, every whim is catered to, every desire fulfilled. Rare artifacts adorn the walls, their value exceeding the lifetime earnings of entire communities. Private chefs conjure up culinary masterpieces, their creations often discarded, barely touched. In a world where millions go to bed hungry, the kitchens of the super-rich overflow with culinary extravagance. Food is not a necessity but a status symbol, a means of showcasing wealth and indulgence. Michelin-starred chefs craft elaborate dishes, their creations often photographed and shared on social media, a testament to a world disconnected from the realities of hunger. Ingredients are flown in from every corner of the globe, their freshness maintained at great cost, while elsewhere families struggle to provide a single meal for their children. Food waste becomes an afterthought, a byproduct of a lifestyle that prioritizes abundance over necessity. Leftovers enough to feed entire families are discarded without a second thought, their value lost in a culture of excess. In this realm of extravagance, luxury items become more than just possessions. They become symbols of status, measuring sticks of success. But what is the true cost of these indulgences? And how many lives could be transformed if these resources were redirected towards a more equitable world? The price of a single luxury car could build a school in a remote village, providing education and hope to generations of children. The cost of a private jet could fund a healthcare clinic, bringing essential medical care to those who need it most. Yet the pursuit of personal gratification often overshadows the needs of the many. The price of apathy is measured not in dollars and cents, but in human lives. Lives cut short by preventable diseases, lives trapped in poverty, lives denied the opportunity to reach their full potential. As we draw the curtain on this tale of two extremes, the contrast couldn't be more stark. On one hand, we witness a world of unimaginable wealth where excess is celebrated and indulgence knows no bounds. On the other hand, millions struggle to survive, their lives defined by poverty, hunger, and a lack of opportunity. The statistics are staggering, a testament to the vastness of the wealth gap that divides our world. The richest 1% of the world's population now owns more than half of the world's wealth, while billions struggle to survive on less than $2 a day. This is not just an economic issue, it is a moral crisis. Numbers, cold, hard, and often overwhelming. Yet within these figures lie the silent stories of millions, a generation robbed of its childhood by the cruel hand of poverty. The statistics paint a grim picture, a stark reminder of the imbalance that plagues our world. Over 2 billion people, almost a third of humanity, subsist on less than $2 a day. And for children, the burden is even heavier. Nearly half of all those living in extreme poverty are children, their lives overshadowed by a lack of basic necessities. Sub-Saharan Africa bears the brunt of this crisis, with over 40% of children trapped in the clutches of poverty. Their small bodies, weakened by hunger and disease, tell a silent story of deprivation. For children born into poverty, life becomes a relentless struggle for survival. Basic necessities that many take for granted, food, water, shelter, education, remain a distant dream. Their small bodies, deprived of essential nutrients, become vulnerable to disease. Every cough, every sniffle carries the risk of turning into a life-threatening illness. Healthcare, if available at all, is often inaccessible or unaffordable. Education, the key to breaking the cycle of poverty, remains out of reach for millions. The sun rises over a sprawling slum, casting a golden glow on a scene of both resilience and despair. Life here is lived on the margins, a constant struggle for survival. For children growing up in these environments, childhood is not a time of carefree play and laughter. It is a time of responsibility, of hardship, of stolen innocence. Instead of attending school, they scavenge for scraps in garbage dumps, their small hands sifting through refuse, hoping to find something, anything to eat. Their playground is a sea of poverty, their toys the discarded remnants of a world that has forgotten them. Their laughter, when it comes, is tinged with a maturity beyond their years, a reflection of the harsh realities they face each day. The challenges are immense, the statistics daunting, yet amidst the despair, seeds of hope are being sown. Across the globe, individuals and organizations are working tirelessly to break the cycle of poverty, to provide children with the opportunities they deserve. In remote villages and sprawling slums, schools are being built, offering children a chance to escape the clutches of ignorance. Healthcare workers are reaching out to the most vulnerable, providing life-saving vaccinations and treatments. Microfinance initiatives are empowering women, giving them the tools and resources to lift their families out of poverty. And through education, awareness is spreading, fostering a sense of global responsibility and igniting a movement for change. The road ahead is long, the journey arduous, but the fight for a more just and equitable world continues. Every child deserves a chance to thrive, to reach their full potential. And by working together, we can create a world where the silent statistics of poverty are replaced by the joyous laughter of children living lives full of hope and promise. We've witnessed the stark contrast, the heartbreaking disparity between a world of excess and a world of want. This divide isn't accidental, it's by design. Institutions, especially banks, claim to be engines of progress, yet for millions those gates remain shut. Profit-driven models perpetuate poverty and despair. Predatory lending traps families in debt. These institutions become complicit in perpetuating poverty. It's time to expose the architects of inequality. In the desperate struggle for survival, a small loan can seem like a lifeline, a beacon of hope. Microfinance, often touted as a solution to poverty, promises to empower individuals, to help them build businesses and lift themselves out of destitution. But the reality is far more complex, often tragically so. Loans, often offered with little to no collateral and limited financial literacy training, can quickly turn into a nightmare, trapping families in a cycle of debt from which there seems no escape. Interest rates, exorbitant and unforgiving, turn small loans into insurmountable burdens. Families are forced to make impossible choices, putting food on the table or making loan repayments, sending their children to school or paying off debts that seem to grow larger by the day. What began as a glimmer of hope morphs into a crushing weight of despair. The very tool meant to empower them becomes a weapon of economic subjugation, their lives held hostage by a system that profits from their vulnerability. Imagine a world with no access to a bank account, no way to save securely, no means to access credit. This is the reality for billions globally, trapped in a system that excludes them from financial tools. Formal financial institutions remain distant fortresses, inaccessible in remote areas. They rely on informal lenders facing exploitation and exorbitant fees. This financial exclusion perpetuates a cycle of poverty, cutting them off from opportunities. They are denied the chance to participate fully in the economy. It's about justice, creating a level playing field for everyone. The picture we've painted is bleak, but it doesn't have to be this way. We can break the cycle of poverty and exploitation, but it requires a fundamental shift, a move towards a more just and equitable financial system. We need greater financial inclusion, ensuring that everyone, regardless of their income or location, has access to safe, affordable, and ethical financial services. This means investing in financial literacy programs, empowering individuals with the knowledge and skills to make informed financial decisions. It means holding financial institutions accountable, demanding transparency in their lending practices, and cracking down on predatory lending. We need regulations that protect the vulnerable, ensuring that loans are fair, interest rates are reasonable, and debt doesn't become a life sentence. This is not charity. It's about creating a more just and equitable world. It's about recognizing that when we lift up the most vulnerable, we all benefit. It's time to build a financial system that empowers, not exploits, a system that works for everyone, not just the privileged few. We have journeyed to the extremes of human experience, from desolate landscapes to gleaming towers of wealth. These worlds are intricately woven together, forming our shared humanity. Each thread contributes to the overall picture. When one weakens, the fabric unravels. Poverty is a stain on humanity, a reminder of our collective failure. We are all interconnected, our fates intertwined. To deny this is to deny our shared existence. The time has come to embrace our shared responsibility and mend our human tapestry. We can no longer afford to be passive observers in this tale of two extremes. The stark reality of poverty, the hunger, the disease, the lost potential demands our immediate attention. The time for complacency is long gone. The time for action is now. Every day, millions of children go to bed hungry, their dreams deferred, their futures uncertain. Every day, lives are needlessly lost to preventable diseases, their potential extinguished before they have a chance to bloom. This is not just a tragedy, it is an outrage. We have the resources, the knowledge, and the means to create a world where poverty is not a life sentence, where every child has the opportunity to thrive. What we lack is the collective will, the sense of urgency, the unwavering commitment to make this vision a reality. The consequences of inaction are too dire to contemplate. We must act now with courage, with compassion, and with an unwavering determination to build a better future for all. Imagine a world where the extremes of wealth and poverty are but a distant memory. Every child has access to education, healthcare, and opportunity. This is an achievable goal. By challenging inequality and demanding accountability, we can create a world of shared prosperity. Imagine a world where compassion guides our actions. This is the world we must strive to create.